Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to keep this short and sweet since this is a longer podcast for the Discourse. 2016 went out with one more victim. Carrie Fisher drowned in moonlight, strangled by her own bra. And then here, just 1 week into 2017, I think everybody knows there was the Fort Lauderdale shooting. So, just the updates. I guess one of our predictions was close, but wrong city. Enjoy.
Everything's okay, I'm just trying to act my age. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. Yeah, I wanna know where the hell the days go. I wanna look and feel years younger, baby. I wanna look and feel years younger.
1, 2, 3,
Dildos! Discourse of Human Events, episode 42.
No, let's have another digression.
The meaning of life
What is this thing?
and
on
everything.
the
That's carpet.
Oh, carpet.
We're going to do a year in review, because 2016 was a great year.
Darn
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
It was...
Everything was made great again.
If you count greatness of a year in body count, 2016 is pretty good.
It's up
Pretty
there.
good.
Way up in there.
There was just
Oh,
an
I don't
assassination attempt, too.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just keep stacking. Let's see how many bodies are gone. But
It
yeah.
just keeps going
Yeah,
giving.
we're,
Keeps giving.
for the record, we're recording this in December 26th.
27th, technically.
Yeah, it's 2 a.m.
3.
We don't sleep. So, you never know. In the before we release this, there could be something even crazier.
There'd be some
Happens.
crazy shit.
Yeah.
Well, let's be fair. Isn't it more like 12 o'clock for you guys?
Yeah, but
Sorta.
I feel like by now we've
You're
adjusted.
acclimated already?
We've
Yeah,
adjusted,
yeah,
and
we
like
adjusted.
4 or 5 days you adjust.
Alright.
All right, so
With
we're
lack of sleep.
gonna start in January. If you can take yourself back
The
to
year
January
review.
of this year, and we're gonna look through the events and see what happened and what random shit we have to say about what happened. Let's see. In January 2nd to 26th, I remember this story. The 3%ers and several other armed militia organizations take over the United States Fish and Wildlife Service's National Wild Refuge
I forgot all about
in
that.
Oregon, and a series of incidents stemming from the 2014 Bundy standoff.
I don't remember.
The
That looks
FBI
crazy.
ends the occupation with a shootout, killing one militiaman and arresting 5 others, including leader Amon Bundy.
I remember that. That was crazy.
What
Yeah.
are you trying to do?
So there was like some sort of dispute, as I recall, that between them and the Bureau of Land Management. Now it's important that you remember it's Bureau of Land Management, because everyone hears BLM and they think Black Lives Matters is a bunch of white guys shooting the government. Like, no. It's a bunch of white farmer guys. And
Was
they...
that about the turtle thing?
What was it about? Exactly.
So,
What
like-
were they, why were they fighting?
So
again?
they technically did not own some federal land, but for years and
The
years...
government didn't own it.
No. The people didn't own it.
Oh,
These
okay.
farmer guys. And the government owned it. For
Uh-huh.
years and years, though, these guys had been using the land, letting the cattle graze it. Like their
Okay.
cattle. And
Well, isn't there is some sort of like settlement law way back when?
there was. And that's generally like a common tradition. Like if you tend to the land, you own it. It's the same theory of like...
Squatting it. They squatted
Yeah,
the land.
they squatted the land.
But doesn't the federal government just have
Yes.
the right to come in?
According to
Eminent
the
domain,
law,
right?
no, they did not get it. But in common tradition, maybe they felt like they should do it. They've been doing this like for generations.
The
Their
government?
father, no,
Or
the
the
farmers, their father and their grandfather before them, maybe their cattle had been grazing this land, and then all of a sudden, the federal government, for whatever reason, found a use for it. But it was always theirs.
What was the use that they found for it?
I have no idea. But the point is,
Look it up.
Bundy stand.
probably take forever.
Well, keep going.
Okay.
But the point was, they really thought it was theirs, and they actually, what did it say? They took over a little area, and they were trying to fight for it. They had a standoff. And they were like,
I remember there was.
They were there for a long ass time, and they were asking for people to send them snacks and whatever, send them supplies. And it was one of the dividing issues of this year was like liberals tended to be against them, conservatives tended to be for them. I mean, I think it's pretty clear the government owned the land.
This is kind of fucked up though. That they the reason they wanted to do it is the benefit is they wanted to have them pay $1 million in grazing fees.
They actually said
over $1 million.
But they probably
following a 20-year legal dispute with them.
So they were probably
going for a
so
while.
20 years ago. They probably told them, "No, you have to stop and say fuck you. We have been doing this for generations and continue."
Yeah, and so they finally told them like, "No, you need to pay this."
Yeah.
So that was what they're getting out of it is the fees, and finally it came down to an actual shootout.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, some things I think are just unresolvable until, like...
But you said you think it's bad that the government owns land, but isn't it good that, like, the government owns some, like, national...
No. I said I think it's very clear that they own the land.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, if you own it, you should be telling people, don't use this land, this is our land. But then again, like, then you just have land that you're not doing anything with. So you should make it very clear to them that this is temporary. This is temporary.
Well,
this is temporary.
That's where I'm actually with the government, surprisingly, with this, because 20 years ago, if they said, "Hey, you owe us fees," and they just haven't paid for 20 years, they've clearly made their stance of they're just not going to do it.
No. But I'm saying going back 20 years ago, or way beyond that, they should have there should be recorded things saying, we let these guys know that this is recorded, this is owned by the government, you're never going to own this land, we can take it at any time. I'm not saying that they should not be able to own that land. I think it's just poor government management. Yeah. I think, if they had done that, then this wouldn't be an issue. But they didn't, so it is an issue. I still think they're in the right. They own the land. But I can see how they would, they base all their farming practices on this. They made many decisions, and it was never very clear to them. I mean, a part of the government policy should be setting guidelines and making things clear and making decisions easy for people, not being ambiguous, so you have to kind of guess at, well, whatever the government thinks, maybe they'll decide this next year or the year after. They should have made it very clear that this could change at any time.
Well, we got a lot of months to go through, so
New topic.
That's good.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to pick the next one. We'll pass this laptop around.
I like that.
We'll pick the
That
next.
works.
I like, for the first time in history, the National Powerball Lottery prize surpasses $1 billion.
$1 billion, really?
$1 billion.
That's a lot.
Who won it then? Somebody had to win it.
Yeah.
At that point, it probably is a way to game it, right?
Like, if the chances are 1 in 500 million,
Yeah.
and you win it.
So you buy 500 million.
No, because I don't think they count it in a real way. I think the way they count it is deceptive.
What do you mean? Oh, it's not I get what you're saying.
So, what they do is, okay, you either take that lump sum, so the lump sum may have been 500 million, or it may have been 20 payments of $50 million.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Over 20 years.
If you choose to get less money.
Which isn't the same as 500 million, which is equal to 500 million in present dollars. But what they count is the 50 million in 20 years.
Yeah.
So and then
That's a kind of...
it's deceptive.
It is deceptive.
Yeah.
Those are not exact numbers. I'm sure they're actually way off.
If I
that's
win the lottery, I'm going to get $1 billion.
Yeah, and then they go, okay, now you get either $50 million every year for 20 years, or you get 500 million. And they're like, well, where was the billion? Oh, well, you multiply 20 by 50 and that's $1 billion. Yeah, but $50 million 20 years from now, I mean, you factor in
It's like that
inflation.
deceptive lifetime supply. Because a lot of times lifetime supplies are you get let's say you get a lifetime supply of pizza. It's like you go to pizza every week.
Mm-hmm.
That's their lifetime supply.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is deceptive advertising. But just so you guys know, it was won by 3 people. So 3 people had to split $1.586 billion.
It was 1.5?
Yeah, it went up to 1.5.
Even with like dividing that by however many years, I think it's 30 years they actually do it for the payments. I think it's 30 years.
That's a lot.
That's
of money.
still a lot. Those people are like, they're set for life.
Yeah.
What's crazy is I wonder if you always hear lottery winners, no matter how much they make, like when they win, because they were the people that would make poor decisions, like let's buy lots of lottery tickets. They tend to also be people that make poor decisions with the money they receive. But when you get so much,
that's
it's
a
like,
lot of money.
You got to really fuck it up to waste all your money.
Remember the big head from the Silicon Valley?
Oh, yeah.
I think that pool is not supposed to be there. Let's move it.
I wonder if one of these lottery winners started moving a pool around. Or doing something that's ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, it turned out that the pool was actually it's where it's supposed to be.
One California couple didn't even claim it until 6 months later.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's smart, but
You don't get the publicity.
You die down alone.
Everybody.
That's good. Then the family relatives
smart.
might not find out.
Yeah.
All the leechers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they chose the cash option, which amounts to $327 million before taxes.
Yeah. And what's 327 million multiplied by 3? That's not even a billion.
No, not close, but not quite.
See, I wouldn't choose a cash option.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
That's awesome.
Because either way, so the way they compute the payments is that it's like if you invest it in the market at the current like risk-free rate, then it's going to be equal to like if you took that money that you got today, put it in the market, then you will get what their payment was, their payment plan was.
I see.
That's what it is.
If the market does as it planned to be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. They're smart.
That's also ifs.
So it's a gamble. You may make more, you may make less.
So what they did was they actually met with a financial advisor, and the first thing they recommended was to avoid the limelight. So they did that completely. So they waited 6 months to even announce that they had a winning ticket.
Just like the financial advisor tells the big
That is genius.
You want to stay rich? Stop moving the pool.
Okay, so if you guys won $327 million, besides hiring a financial advisor, what would be the first thing you do? That's always a fun little thing. What do
First
you do?
thing I would do?
Yeah. First fun thing that you would do. Let's put
Fun
it that
thing?
way.
I don't know about fun. I'd probably spend a lot of time in Europe. I was going to say I was going to buy like everybody a nice house. Everyone I know is getting a nice place.
What would you do?
I wouldn't do that at all.
I'm saying
Nice
fun.
house?
That's not fun. That's your charitable.
And then I'd go to Europe, I think.
Travel Europe a lot?
Yeah. Not a lot, like 6 months, a year maybe.
That's just like your first thing you'd go head out to do. After you took care of everything you need to do, buy everybody houses, you take care of the financial situation,
you're
you invest
fun.
everything, you're like, alright, time to head out.
Oh, I don't, because I've always wanted to make a movie too, and you can like produce a movie. That'd be cool.
I like that.
I'm a boring person.
Yeah?
What
I'm
would
gonna
you
set
do?
up a foundation.
No, he's saying fun.
Fun thing. What's the first
I was
fun
trying
thing
to
you
be
do?
like, I'd buy people
Even if
houses.
that's like you
It's
go
like-
out for, I don't know, like you go to the mountains to do a mountain climb. It doesn't have to actually cost a lot of money. What's the first thing you do now that you have all this financial freedom? What's the first fun thing you do for yourself?
You snort it all. You
No.
convert it all to cocaine and you start snorting.
Terrible. I actually want to quit my job and
Everyone is.
Yeah,
go
that's
to France and start.
Not
learning
everyone,
how
hold
to
on.
do pastry.
You're right.
what are you gonna do?
To learn pastry in France.
Learn pastries. Learn how to make pastries.
Oh,
Like
learn how to
a
make
bakery,
pastries.
bakery chef.
Okay.
Yes.
What is
That's
that called?
cool.
Doesn't that have a special name?
I don't remember.
But yeah, they
But,
have
So
I
me and my
know.
manager at the place I work just mentioned, like, we were talking about this, and I said, and I agreed with him, if he ever became, like, a millionaire, he's like, I would still want to work at a blue-collar job, like 10 to 15
Really?
hours. And I said, yeah, I agree. Just because of the people you meet, and it
Okay.
keeps you, like, grounded in reality as well.
10 to 15 hours, I understand.
Yeah, just 10 to 15 hours, just to, like, keep up with, like, the current society, like, what's actually going on with the world. You know how people are, and you meet such cool people looking blue-collar jobs.
I wouldn't want to work it, though. I would be the boss of a
No.
blue-collar thing.
I would want to work as an underling.
No.
I would not. First of all, managing people is awful. It's the worst.
Not if you're so rich that you don't care what happens.
It's still
And-
no.
You still have plenty
Because
of
then you're not really
hours.
working. Defeats the whole purpose of working 10 to 15 hours a week.
But, okay, first of all, 10 to 15 is not bad. But when people say they keep their day job, and a lot of them do, that's what's shocking to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sad. Like, they can't
I wouldn't keep the 40 hours. There's no way.
Like, who cannot find something better to do with their 40 hours a week than go to work and do their standard boring fucking job? Like, I think it's just so
40 hours?
sad
Yes, that is sad.
that's all they can do with their life, to go to work. That's the most exciting thing. Like, I'm never working again, motherfuckers. And
oh no, I'm going to
flipping
work.
everyone off.
I'm going to work probably twice as much as I do now. It's just
But
going
it'd
to
be
be
on
on
cool
writing, on
projects.
board games. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's going to
it'd
be
be
on
on
things I
cool
want to
stuff.
work. But I still want that 10 hours or 15 hours a week at a shit job because I think that does something to a personality.
Okay, so I agree with you, but like I don't think I would work the job. I would buy a cafe, and I'd try to run the cafe like 10 hours a week, maybe.
Okay,
15.
that's fair.
Like it would be not a hard
If it's
job.
actually your cafe and you care about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think not caring about it defeats the whole purpose. If you don't care about it, then you're not actually going to work there. There's
Exactly.
not actually any struggle.
I
That's
think
the
it
whole
would be
point.
a cool cafe. I'd try to make it as cool as possible.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's fun to be there.
And also just meeting the people and stuff like that. You need a little bit of struggle.
Yeah,
Okay.
How about say want to be a pastry chef?
pastry chef. Yeah,
That's going to be work.
That's
Yes.
actually you definitely meet normal people.
To open up
Yeah.
a pastry shop.
Yeah, but you're still one part you're never kept in check is that you can't fail because you have so much money. Even if your restaurant's not that good or whatever, you can.
But
always just patch
you
it
would
up with
fail
money.
in the fact that if your business isn't
That
making
you
money,
have to,
somebody would be
yeah,
like,
you
you got to
feel like-
close this. You're just losing money every year.
Yeah,
You can only keep it open for so long before you just want to be a millionaire.
that's true.
Right. I mean, that's the point of like learning and trying to
Yeah.
be successful. I don't.
She would
I don't
just have the
believe I'll
time to
be
do that.
You're right.
And you'd have the money to hire the right people. Now you pick the next. What's the next topic?
January 5th, President Obama introduced.
No, whatever you
politics.
choose. You choose whatever you want.
Oh, I choose?
After what he picked.
Okay. January 10th, 73rd Golden Globe Awards. The Revenant wins the Golden Globe Awards for Best Motion Picture Drama with Leonardo DiCaprio winning the award of the Best Actor.
So it did win.
Yup. Golden Globe.
He won
Did you
a,
watch
he
that
won
movie?
A Golden Globe.
None of you guys watched
No,
it?
I didn't. I've
No, I
heard
haven't.
decent things about it. I've heard mixed
You want me to
things.
tell you the whole movie?
Well, okay, no, because
I know
I don't
there's
know.
a bear.
You don't
There's
really watch
Leonardo
it.
DiCaprio.
No.
You
Is
pretty
it-
much know the whole movie.
Yeah, he gets attacked by a bear and he has to crawl his way back.
You
to
just
society,
explained 3
even
hours
though
of the movie.
That's what I heard. Was it like it has the castaway problem? Is like one man, and it's the whole movie for the most part.
Yeah, it didn't need to be 3 hours at all.
Years before, there's one movie called 127 Hours. Literally just one guy who was a mountain climber got trapped
Oh,
between
yeah,
the
yeah,
woods.
yeah, yeah.
127 hours.
But that was an entertaining movie, though, because they didn't make it.
No.
They didn't actually make the movie 3 hours long.
They didn't make it 27 hours,
Yeah.
which is good.
Well, it's 127
100.
hours.
127.
I'm glad they cut it out.
The
Really could have been a long one
the
there.
power of editing. The power of editing. Let's exclude all the.
And still trapped.
But still, even after all that cutting, how much of that movie and The Revenant was Leonardo DiCaprio going, I'm in pain. I hurt.
No,
it
that's
hurts.
the problem with that movie. And they had like this whole side story of like these characters that hated each other. It was just tacked on,
Just
obviously.
to fill it out.
Yeah, just to have like some kind of ending to the whole thing.
Filler.
But literally for 3 hours, it's Leonardo gets attacked. He crawls back to camp. That takes about 2 hours. And
What
then
a
there's the
lovely
conclusion.
story.
Yeah, it was awful. Now, I will say, though, the bear attack scene was pretty sweet. But
But you can.
I don't
watch
get why you
just that
won
part.
any awards for it.
Does the bear is getting well compensated?
The camera had-
So
Yeah.
where does a bear ask for this?
You
Does
know
the
what-
bear get anything out of
Wait,
it?
was this his first award?
No,
What
I think
was
he's
the
won
one?
other awards. He just hasn't won an Oscar.
He didn't win an Oscar, but I thought he did, finally.
Yeah, I think he wins an Oscar. But we're only in
Later.
January.
We're only
the
in
Oscars haven't happened
yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
But he ends up winning the Oscar for this.
One idea
I think this was a giveaway. They just finally okay, let's give it because it was not worthy of the Oscar.
They feel like for his past work, and this was good enough that we can give him an Oscar for his past work.
Yeah, I'm not saying his performance was bad in it. It was just there was. It's
not
he's
that
had
great a
so
movie.
many better performances.
Yeah.
He should have won for.
Do you guys want to continue talk about this with the Oscar?
I just had one more point.
Okay.
I had an idea for a business, and I don't know how you could make it work with copyright, but basically, I feel like there's so much content out there right now. There's so many movies I want to see, that I haven't seen. I have a backlog of movies to see that I want somebody to edit this shit down for me, to so that 3-hour movies, cut out the crap that doesn't matter, make me a 40-minute movie that gives me basically all the high points.
That's actually a genius website.
And just let me see it,
Yeah, you're right.
So get sued.
That's the thing. How do you make it work with copyright?
The idea is copyright.
But so much shit is if you ever read popular nonfiction books, they have 3 or 4 good ideas.
They need abridged movies.
They so much filler, because they want to sell a book. But they have you can explain this stuff in 20 pages, but they need to fill a book to sell it, and it's wasting my time.
Yeah, you want to close that door? That's actually a genius idea. Somebody needs to make that website, but the whole
copyright issue. I don't think you can get paid
hard.
for it.
I know, one.
We need some BitTorrenter to just have a passion.
There's one good Chinese TV show get bought by the HBO.
Oh, you're right.
And being edited on. It was 72 episodes before, and then it was 6 or 8 episodes.
Netflix, not HBO.
Netflix, yes.
Yeah.
And
they edited it down.
That's if you watch the edited down version, it doesn't make sense. The thing just jumps
So
from
they
point A to
overdid
point
it.
B.
They overdid it.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't think you can cut down from 72 episodes to 6. That's imagine the ratio.
Episode 1.
I'm saying 3 hours movies, a third.
So
6 isn't a third of 72.
The Last Airbender, that could have been cut a lot. They
had a lot of filler.
There was 24 episodes every season. It probably could have been 12.
Lost had a lot of filler. I feel like I could have watched that whole
Once again,
series.
they were on that 24 episodes a season.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of shows are getting rid of that because they have to do filler.
Yep.
So you cut it down to 12, you get to the point so much faster. That's why I like Netflix, because all their shows are in that 10 to 13 range.
But cutting is difficult, as in, you might have some connecting parts between the episodes, but if you just cut it out, and then when the character starts referencing those little bits, and you're
well, sometimes that makes
just continuity.
A lot of people like that. For instance, the Matrix is cut down.
Mm-hmm.
They removed all the scenes of Zion, so it remained like a mystical place because they kept referencing it and talking about it, but you never actually see it. So you're still wondering, as the audience member, does Zion actually exist? They kept it a mystery. Whereas the actual movie showed Zion, and now you're it's kind of boring every time you saw it.
It's a place with cool robots and shit.
And they just they raved.
Yeah, robots and raving. That was Zion. It really removed the mysteriousness behind it.
I still haven't watched it, but it is only 2.5 hours for the second and third film, whereas each film was 2.5 hours.
I see.
All right, what's our next topic?
I'm looking.
Something just left the best for imagination.
Yes, there you go. Was that still February?
That was January.
January? Wow.
Where were
Let's
you?
move into February now.
That's what I'm doing. I feel like we should do 1 month and another month and another.
We've done 3 topics for January.
Okay, one, DiCaprio did win for the Academy Award later in February, so we do know that's true. Super Bowl, I don't give a shit about.
Who won the Super Bowl?
Denver Broncos, we should know that.
I forgot about that.
Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia dies at the age of 79.
Too old.
Yeah, too much politics.
So I would just say there are a couple of shootings in here. Oh, including one in Columbus, Ohio, so I feel like we should do that one.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So do you remember, a man injures 4 people with a machete at a restaurant in Columbus, Ohio before being shot and killed by law enforcement.
When?
So this is preceding the machete attack that we'll get to later.
Attack.
It was a machete attack earlier this year.
That was a knife.
It was a knife? Okay. But yeah, that was I remember this story.
I don't remember this at all.
It was a restaurant, and no one died, right? He just injured them.
He just came in hot with a machete?
Mm-hmm. And I forget the story behind it, but it was like...
Why?
But even beginning so there were already several other shootings earlier in the year. Yeah, this was... So February 7th, that was the nightclub shooting. So obviously we have to cover that. 2 people are killed, 10 others...
Well, everyone knows. Let's get on this Columbus one, because I don't remember this at all.
So a man... Do you want me to look at the details? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about this. Machete.
New tab it.
That's what we need in 2017, is a Machete sequel.
So this guy was investigated by the FBI for 4 years for making radical Islamic statements. Lone wolf terrorism...
That's the new thing, lone wolf terrorism.
Yeah, perpetrator Muhammad Berry.
What?
That was his name.
Oh.
I thought that was ceremony.
Yeah, I was like, what's Muhammad Berry? What is this that you speak of?
So there's a bit of a debate about whether it was an act of terrorism because it was...
What actually happened? I don't even get the details here.
Yeah.
So he entered into the Nazareth restaurant in Columbus, Ohio, and began to attack customers with a machete, injuring 4. He was killed as he attempted to attack police officers with his machete.
Damn.
That
Where's the Nazareth?
Nazareth restaurant?
Yeah. I'm just curious. Cleveland Avenue and Morris?
I think it is around
It's
there.
close to the Cleveland Avenue area.
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a very smart choice when you're trying to attack a police officer with a machete.
You
know
lose.
the one
That's
with
why
the gun is going
I
to
feel like
win.
this sounds like a familiar place.
It's North Hamilton Road. It's around the Home Depot.
North Hamilton Road.
North Hamilton Home
Actually,
Depot?
I don't recall.
That's not Cleveland Avenue.
That's not.
I can't do that. Can I?
No. You just tried to pinch close my laptop.
I don't know how to zoom out. So it's near Blendon Woods. So yeah, it's up Morse. It's up. So Morse Road. There's the
So it's on Cleveland and the Cleveland Home Depot. Cleveland Avenue's Home Depot.
Thompson Road. So you
Let me see.
yeah, you know directions better than me. Do you have any idea where the fuck that is?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is Gahanna area.
Gahanna. Okay.
Yeah.
So a good area actually.
It's actually north of the Raising Cane's and Gahanna, just like a minute away from that.
So that's actually a good area.
Yeah, that's
right?
actually a good area.
But yeah. This is our first attacking and locally event of this year that we saw, but there were also several more.
Wow, that's crazy though. I didn't know there was more lone wolf attacks.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to
Keep track.
No, I mean, it's just that... So you always hear that when these happen, oh, don't worry, you know.
It'll never happen again.
No, it's just... It's like...
Is that what you mean?
No, it's just the news. You're just hearing about it way more because, you know, you can obviously search and find them, but then you get these anecdotes like, this has now happened twice in Columbus, Ohio. And it makes me question, like...
As we know, we're only in February. Shit, there might be one every other month.
Yeah, but, I mean, we obviously knew one major one happened, and then there was this one back in February, which didn't even make the news.
Wait. You said one major. This one sounds worse.
No, there were more than 4 people injured in the other one. There was like 11, I think.
How many?
I don't know.
in total?
Just hearing machete attacks sounds way worse than somebody trying to hit people with a
The
car
results,
and a knife.
though, were
The results
worse.
ended up worse.
So, it just makes me wonder, like, I don't know, it makes me really question, like, are we really being fed bad data? If, like, anecdotes, I can see that it's very odd. I've lived in Columbus 10 years. I didn't hear anything about a machete attack twice in 1 year, and I go, that's pretty unusual. And then you look at the news, and it's like, yeah, there are a lot of these things going on. Is it just even
But is
local
it just
news reporting
lately,
new?
though? Is it just lately? Because I don't remember attacks.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they say, oh, it only appears more often because the news is reporting it more, but then you see it happen more often locally, too, and you're like...
That's getting kind of crazy.
Am I sure I trust the news telling me, don't worry, it doesn't really happen that often. It's just the news reporting it more.
Well, I know I'm shocked that there was a second terrorist attack in
isn't
Columbus.
that crazy?
Yeah, and so, Ohio State campus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in a nice neighborhood in Gahanna.
Yeah.
North. I go to that area all the time. That was the Raising Cane's I'd go to. Because that was the closest one to us. Back at Ashton Woods, that was the closest one.
Oh, yeah. The only other one I know is near campus.
Near campus?
Back in the day.
You don't know the one by Polaris? Right off of Polaris Parkway?
No, because when I was a student, I went to the one near
You never went to...
campus. I have not gone to that Raising Cane's near here.
You lived around here for 5 years and you never went to...
I had other places to go.
What's funny is you probably went to that one not knowing that it was a closer one?
Yes.
I mean, you lived here for 5 years.
Not because...
You can't tell me you didn't eat Raising Cane's in 5 years.
No, I didn't. But I would eat it because I was around there and I knew there was a Raising Cane's nearby. So I went to that Raising Cane's. So if I was on the OSU, I was like, oh, what's near here? Raising Cane's.
But didn't you
I'll
work
go eat Raising
close
Cane's.
to here?
Yeah, I worked
The
close to
Polaris
here.
area, so...
But I didn't know there was a Raising Cane's nearby.
God damn. Alright,
I didn't go out of my way for Raising Cane's is what I'm saying.
got
But if
it,
I was around OSU, I'd go to that one.
Alright, so we're in
nearby.
March now. Wow, there are...
Any
Lot
more
of
attacks?
Yeah, there's
It's
one
like,
in...
how do you not pick another attack?
I'm not going to unless it's Columbus, Ohio, basically. So, ladies and gentlemen, March was an uneventful month. Unless you
Other
were
than-
political.
Other than politics and all the deaths.
There wasn't attacks.
No, just politics?
The only attacks I see in March was somebody being wounded in a U.S. airstrike in Syria.
Oh, those aren't Americans. They don't count.
Yeah. All the rest were about the election.
Well,
Just
that
go to
sounds
April.
terrible.
But, okay, if we kill 50 people in Syria, is that getting reported anywhere near as much as 50 Americans dead in terrorist attack?
Yeah,
Not
you're
even
right.
close.
You're right. But I guess you never heard the news from the
Oh.
Syrian news agency, don't you?
Fox's American Idol concludes its 15th season run.
What?
So,
15?
American Idol's done.
I didn't really
It's
realize. Are they actually not
That's what
airing
they
ever
mean.
more?
Concludes its 15th season run.
Oh.
Or does that mean it just...
I thought it just, the 15th season has ended.
Yeah,
Or maybe, no, concludes its 15th season run. You're right, it's done.
Yeah, I think that means it's over.
That is like the end of an
The
era.
farewell season. It was called the farewell season.
Okay. I remember when that was such an enormous deal. Like, it was just like a...
Yeah.
Like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was at one point like a big fad and everyone is into
People
it.
still watch that, dude.
Yeah, but this one lasted way longer. Like, I remember... That was like
Wait,
6
wait.
months and it was big.
I'm about to blow your mind.
Yeah?
People still watch Survivor, and it's gaining viewers.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what is
Gaining
Survivor?
viewers.
That's like a
That
reality
was the
TV
first
show.
reality show.
Yeah.
What it does?
Okay.
No, wait. Let's give the funny version first.
Alright.
Oh, I
They take Americans and they put them in places where people live and see if they can survive.
But no, it's not terrible places they live. It's like Jungle was the first one, some jungle somewhere.
No, the first few were like that, and then they started putting them in places where you're like, wait, what? People just live there.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that. But even though it was in the jungle, they're not starving. They'll give you whatever.
What?
Like
They're not going to let
obviously
you
they're not
die
gonna-
on the
yeah.
show.
So all they
then
really
what's
do,
the point?
they played politics to try to vote off people, and it really just
That's more
really
of
just
what
turned into
the show
politics.
became about was politics.
Personal politics, like trying to get other people to vote people off the island. And then the last person standing wins. And then they had challenges in between, like,
I see.
oh, you're in an island, so you have to gather berries or something. I
Look,
don't know,
like the
stupid
5th
shit.
season was Thailand.
Yeah.
We gotta survive in Thailand, guys.
Pretty sure there's a lot of people who live on the Thailand would
No.
disagree that...
I think in Survivor Thailand, it was, okay, you're going to go to a brothel, and you're not going to contract
There
an
was a China
STD.
episode.
Unbelievable.
Don't get an STD.
Chloe, how did you do it?
I don't know. It's amazing, right? I still
Do
alive.
you know these places?
Hmm?
Zhelin? Zelin? Beijing? Zhejiang?
She's got to look at it.
Those are the places
Your
they stay at.
pronunciation makes me really wondering what's going on.
Zhejiang?
Yeah.
So they're wild areas?
Of course not. Cities.
Really?
Those are cities!
No,
We gotta survive, guys.
Okay.
They're poor, at least, I hope.
They're slightly less developed. Let me put it this way.
Jesus.
They're not that poor.
They would have to live in the slums.
If they want to pick something really rare, they gotta go to like
Oh
some
my god, they had to survive China.
northwest area where the altitude was really high, close to Tibet, close to nobody would live. You know, that's a place you really want to shoot the survivor.
I feel like for really underdeveloped areas, they should give them like 5 kids.
Dude.
They'd be like, you gotta feed them all.
Wikipedia is amazing, though. You can click that episode, you can have how every single episode broke down, the challenge, the immunity challenge,
I know.
what happened, the data aired. Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's ridiculous what nerds do.
The information available. Well, I would think with Wikipedia, you think like the actual company hires people to put that information in
No,
Wikipedia?
they don't.
You don't think so?
I know they don't.
How do you know?
Because I'm quite certain it's just a bunch of editors that, like, it's the original group of people that started long ago have a lot of political power in Wikipedia now. And they do get, well, technically they shouldn't get money, but they get prestige and they might get certain things.
What do you mean?
Like you could get on a TV show, you could get
By
to give a
editing
speech.
stuff?
You get paid to give a speech because they have, I think, rankings of like the top editors, and
Really?
like the more you edit, the more you're a part of the community, and the more you have control over what gets edited.
Oh,
So if I was like a
content?
huge fan of, say, Survivor, and I was like a big editor, it could increase my chances
You
of
could
going
basically
on
own
Survivor.
No.
that what
You
you're
could
saying?
own the Survivor pages. And you could be like a Survivor expert, and
Like
Survivor.
Wikipedia would make you like the expert Survivor person, so you're the one that gets to edit all of the
Yeah.
pages. I see.
So you have control. So Survivor's probably not a big one, but people get control over.
I would think Survivor would be a big one.
No, because
I
no
mean,
one
like-
gives a shit in the end. But politics, people control what Wikipedia says about politics,
Oh.
and those people matter.
I still
Like-
okay. It's not comparable to politics, but I think the person that controls the Survivor ones, like the big fans, they probably do get like a kickback from.
Oh
that
yeah,
company.
maybe big fans will talk to them more, and
Yeah, I bet you it does give them a chance to go
Yeah.
on. Like, hey,
So it
I
could
got
be.
control.
I don't know.
That's crazy though, because I did not know that's how it worked.
Yeah, you can go on and edit, and you get more prestige for editing.
How's the
It's like a karma system, something like that. I think.
But it's like behind the scenes, or can you actually search users like that?
I don't like. I've never given a shit because
I've never
tried.
edited a Wikipedia article in my life.
I did one time.
Oh, you did?
Wait, I'm taking that back because I think I did as a joke one time on Reddit.
Oh, did you?
One of the joke edits where everyone was just editing something for fun.
Oh.
But what did you edit?
It was, we were in a OSU class where you got to manage like their endowment fund. Like the OSU gives the students like this many $1 million to manage. And they had the wrong number for how much we managed. And I was in the class at the time and I was like, that's not right. And I changed it. That's it.
No. That's just, see, I've never like been reading something where that's not right.
That's the only time that's ever
That's
happened
cool.
to me.
That's cool though. That's what like Wikipedia is there for. That's
Yeah.
what's so cool. But yeah, I think it's Survivor. People watch it. Like I sat down and like it was a big group of people. We went to like an escape room and stuff and ate after.
Mm-hmm.
There was two groups of people talking about Survivor, like the current season, and they're like, "Yeah, we're watching the past episodes to catch up." And they're talking about immunities and all the challenges. Like, I like this guy. I think he's gonna win. I'm like, holy shit! Like, people are talking about Survivor. What?
When did I go back to 2002?
That's fucking crazy. All right, Chloe, you're up. You're up for our next topic.
Alrighty.
That's funny how American Idol actually made us talk about more about Survivor.
I don't remember.
We don't give a fuck about American Idol. It's on its 20th season though, Survivor.
April 14th, Microsoft files a lawsuit against the United States, stating that it has been prevented from disclosing information to its customers when the government obtained a warrant to read emails or access data through the cloud.
Say that again? That was a long one.
Microsoft files a lawsuit against the government for trying to access data in the cloud.
For the government trying to...
The government wants the stuff, right?
Yeah,
And
but
Microsoft
Microsoft
wants to
are
prevent it.
They won't
prevented...
give it.
No. The Microsoft was prohibited to disclosing the information to customers that the governments are doing this.
This was the same time, like
letting the customers know that the government is looking at.
So who's doing the suing?
Microsoft.
And they're suing so that they can let the customers know.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the iPods. The FBI was trying to get into. Apple wouldn't release how to break the phones.
Yeah. The back door.
Call me a conspiracy theorist, whatever.
Conspiracy theorist.
But I would not reject the notion that all this is for optics. Like, I don't know.
What?
You're saying Microsoft is filing a lawsuit just for show for the people?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree.
Like, I think they have... So, they have some specific thing that they're looking into, right? Like, maybe they're looking into... what records did they say?
Some cloud records, that's all.
Cloud records.
Just on the cloud.
So they have a very specific one. Okay?
And they don't want them to see that record?
No. I think that they make a big show... It's possible. I'm not saying this is definite. That they make a big show of this... Like, okay, we're looking into let's suppose it's Microsoft Word docs. So that people can see, we're all going to find out that Microsoft looked into Microsoft Word docs and whatever. And, like, that's a big deal, and we'll all find out. And realistically...
Do you think Microsoft is actually monitoring stuff?
I think the government has taps into all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
I think that's true.
And they're just making a big deal about little specific pieces to try to make it the display that they only have taps into little bits and pieces. Because it makes it look like they only have little bits and pieces. But in reality, they have lots of it. So they're trying to just make it look like there's a big brouhaha when they get taps into even anything.
When they get this little bit, they're like, we're suing you for tapping into this little bit.
God, there's just so
much.
The
government's like, no, we have all the files.
Behind the scenes, they have everything.
That's possible. It could be just smoke. That's
what I'm saying. That's a possibility. I would not rule that out. That they basically have all of Microsoft's data. It's been asserted, or it's been propositioned, whatever, that Facebook is almost entirely CIA funded. As in, they want to know those connections, and they have like all of it.
Because you
wouldn't like that would be data CIA would definitely want to know, right?
Yeah.
All your networks of friends and stuff.
Would not be surprised at all.
But in the news, it's always, they're coming and getting a warrant for this 3 little bits of data, and we make a big deal out of it. And maybe it's just so the terrorists that are on Facebook think it's almost impossible. You know how much the government has to go through to get our information? So let's go on Facebook and talk about stuff and build our networks.
Well, here's the thing that I do. Well, I agree with you, but nobody can search through that amount of information. So they just have things that are going to come out like when the Discourse, when I do a hashtag terrorist or something, I probably am being monitored. I guarantee we are being monitored.
That's some of our downloads.
Hi CIA, hi FBI.
Remember earlier today you guys were using Alexa?
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure not in the future, anytime I would want a device in my home listen to me 24/7.
Yeah.
Even though I only trigger by Alexa. I'm pretty sure.
Well, you think you're only triggering it by Alexa.
Yeah, exactly. How would I not...
I guarantee Amazon's collecting all the things you do say.
Exactly.
If not to at least make that product better. But then who also gets that information?
Yeah.
They get that information, then it's your information, but it's up to them how they deal with it, right? Unless you find enough evidence to sue Amazon, basically you have no...
Well, one of the things I was thinking when we were doing it, every time Alexa said, I don't know how to answer that question, I bet you that's one of the things that gets sent to them right away. And when Amazon gets a bunch of the same, I don't know how to answer that questions, they just are going to type that in eventually. And now Alexa knows how to answer that question.
Yeah, and they have enough reasons to learn that way. Called helping the customers improve their experience.
Yeah. Have you ever dealt with Amazon customer service? They're the bomb.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're so easy to
the mug
do.
I ordered for you.
And I don't have to call them or anything. I just hit a little chat box.
Yeah, I deal with them.
It takes 2 seconds to deal with them.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
No.
All right, what's the next topic?
Alright, I'm gonna take a look.
Alright, CIA, I hope we're entertaining you. FBI dude. Or gal.
Prince dies at the age of 57.
I was a big Prince guy.
I wasn't either. And you know what? I feel like we're not alone in this generation. Because, okay, it was news at work, where I work.
Mm-hmm. The generation above us were Prince fans.
Okay, but everyone I work with was around my generation. Mm-hmm. No one really talked too much about his songs or anything. You know what we did?
What?
Brought off the Chappelle Show skits. That's what we know as Prince. He's the guy in the Chappelle Show skit.
That's true.
So...
Yeah,
that's it. That was it.
But Chappelle's generation are the people that cared about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was just like, meh. I know he was big at one time.
We weren't fans of Prince, though.
And he was never Michael Jackson famous. He was like one tier below. Yeah. So it wasn't as big as a news story. I mean,
everyone knew who Prince was, though. Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I knew who it was, but
that's not a big one for us.
One or two songs. That's it.
If you're a Prince fan, like...
It probably affected you.
It was a big deal to you, but...
But our audience probably isn't in the 40-plus demographic, so...
Harry liked Prince.
Did he?
He was a fan of Prince, yeah.
Really?
Well, I never heard of Prince before that.
It does not surprise me.
Not quite. Yeah.
So one of the funny things that happened with Prince is his name was Prince, and he went to go away from his record company, and they told him he can't use the name Prince because they actually owned a copyright for the name Prince as a musical artist. So that's when he changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah.
And so
it's such a stupid thing.
So like a legal loophole to change his name to that. And then he just became a symbol at some point in time.
Yeah. So it may have been a musical genius, but he at least hired legal geniuses.
Yeah. He was a genius at some point in time. Alright. Next up. So many of these are fucking just people dying in some kind of crash or disaster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, was this the year that the weird planes, there was that fascination with the plane going down and shit?
Yeah, there was a plane.
Earlier this year.
Plane going down and shit.
Well, it was like a mystery or something, and I'm sure it was nothing. Or maybe, I don't know.
Here's funny. 3 women are arrested at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago after being caught trying to smuggle 70 pounds of opium into the U.S. That's a lot of
pounds of opium? 70?
That's almost like, what, 23 each? 23 pounds?
How'd they do it?
I don't know. That's a lot of fucking opium. How the fuck did you do that?
I do not know.
I know what you did.
What did I do?
You had this.
And you pressed it up.
There. So you press that down.
Did I really?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I
got this.
Press it on.
We had to do it the old-fashioned way and just push the cork in there. So anyways, pounds smuggled in.
70 pounds.
That's a decent chunk.
I hope it...
There we go. The cork had to get out of the way.
So I hope it was they were using their carry-on luggage and their personal items, because otherwise that's a lot to shove up your vagina.
I would hope so. I really hope so.
I don't want to know.
That's so much.
I really don't want to know.
There's not a link for me to click either, so I don't know.
No pictures?
No pictures? Let me Google. I am really curious of how they tried to smuggle it.
I feel like the way they do it is something I don't want to know. I'm going to remain silent. Swiftly.
Hidden in tea leaves.
Tea leaves.
Ooh. See? It's not as dirty as you guys thought. You dirty-minded.
So yeah, they had it in the luggage and tea leaves.
I think no matter what you do, if you bring like 70 pounds of one thing, people are going to be suspicious. Like, you're trying to do something weird, and people are going to look and take a closer look.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, just like in the last episode, I think we gave tips to terrorists. In this one, we want to give tips to smugglers. Don't be too odd. Don't be too odd. Look normal.
Tips to smugglers of drugs. I'm fine with giving tips. So your tip is what?
Be as normal as possible. Like, don't do anything out of the ordinary. That's what gets you flagged to be inspected further.
Also, don't be the wrong race.
Oh, that helps. That really helps.
Be white man.
Be white as fuck.
Be white man.
Like, if you are a balding white man wearing a suit and tie.
Wait, that's not true though. If you're like flying out of China,
Yeah,
you don't
be
want to
an
be a white
Asian
man.
businessman.
Yeah, you don't want to be a white man.
Yeah.
Match where you're flying out of.
But I think that follows the be as typical as possible. Just do not draw
Usual.
any attention to yourself
Yeah,
whatsoever.
because if like I smuggle drugs into Canada, I'd be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if I smuggle drugs into Mexico, not fine.
Not key.
Well, I think that's no one's going to pay attention because it's usually the other direction that happens.
Yeah, but the other direction should be
Yeah, they're
a
not
Mexican
going
going.
to. I get they're not going to
Well,
inspect you as much.
Maybe that's not true. Maybe it should be a white man coming from Mexico into the United States.
Then they're going to inspect a little more.
You don't think a Mexican's going to get inspected more often?
I don't.
'Cause
I don't know. It depends on what the white guy looks like.
That's true. Businessman. Be businessy.
Yeah, and they'd probably be like, he's
You know what's actually the best?
outsourcing jobs.
I bet you this is the best way to smuggle drugs. Man, wife, kids.
It's either that or
If you're going to any kind of vacation destination, go to a vacation destination, have what looks to be a family.
I think it's that or really old people, really old couple.
Yeah. If you can get that for a smuggling week, that'd probably be the best.
Oh,
Or
sounds
just a
good.
couple in general, like a normal business couple. You don't even have to have the kids. I think if you have the kids, though, that's going to help you.
Oh yeah. Especially if they're packing, they're carrying it.
Yeah. I
You
agree.
just gotta be like, hold this for mommy for just to pass this check line.
Yeah. Well, just put it in like a book bag or something of theirs.
And when they get caught, it's like, oh my god, you were trying to smuggle 3 pounds of cocaine? I can't believe my little daughter's a smuggler. I had no idea.
That's actually a good
no
question.
idea.
If it's in your kid's backpack, do they get charged
Oh
for it?
no, you're liable. It does not matter. They know you're the
What if
responsible
it's not actually
party.
your kid, though? Because you're
It's
purposely
still you.
taking a kid that's not
But you're
yours.
faking like it's not. It is yours. Is the
That's not
idea.
true.
What?
You
That's
could be
the
like, this is
scenario.
my grandson. I didn't know
Oh.
I didn't know he had this on it. It must have been my brother.
So it was like your 15-year-old son, and he had some pot on him.
Yeah.
I would hope that they would be smart enough to be context.
No. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, this is my grandson.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So it's actually my daughter who gave her son a bunch of drugs in the backpack.
Yeah. So they have to figure out who's actually trying to smuggle.
Yeah, but you make sure the person who's responsible, quote unquote, is in the country where it doesn't matter. So you're smuggling drugs from Mexico to U.S., that daughter is in Mexico. So you go, oh man, my daughter must have put that in the grandson's backpack. Like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Oh, I see.
So the fault falls on the daughter, but she's in Mexico,
Wait,
so what the hell are they going to do?
how's he doing that from the U.S.? How's he putting drugs in the daughter's backpack?
Huh?
Wait, what?
I think you guys are too involved in this
You've
story.
I've
It
lost
could
your
be,
logic.
you're all in America.
Okay, you're all in America.
Daughter goes to Mexico.
Okay.
Then you follow a couple days later saying we couldn't go that same day, we were following.
Okay.
She must have put the drugs in there knowing that we were leaving. Before
Okay,
she
okay,
left,
okay,
she
I
put
got
drugs in the kid's back.
But they can
bags.
just work with the authorities in Mexico.
It could, but how well does that go?
Fine,
Drugs.
you're pretty well required to keep something
You
like
think?
your passport. You have your passport and you get scanned all the time.
Actually,
where you're going.
the best way is probably just the crazy things they do where they just drop like shit in the ocean and people are there to catch it at that time.
Yeah, I think there are ways around all of this shit.
No matter
We
what.
got way off track.
Yes.
I just get interested. Alright, June.
You guys really think about how to smuggle drugs.
I think that's going to be a cut bit. I have
Nope,
no
I'm
idea.
down.
No, I lost what the fuck you were even talking about.
I think you're too drunk to keep up with the combo, man.
No, I think you're too drunk to make sense.
How did that not make sense?
Because they just go and they get the daughter in the other country.
Because I just didn't think that they could do that.
Of course they can. Why can't they do that? They extradite there to the U.S.
Not just. I didn't
Are
think
we,
they could do
are
that. I
we
didn't think they
going
care
to talk
enough
about
do
the
that.
Orlando shooting or no?
Yeah.
Nah.
It's too famous.
Well, I did a shooting.
Okay. I'm just gonna do...
I mean, we already talked about a shooting.
No, we talked about a stabbing, technically.
Okay.
And a rather minor one at that.
Actually, it wasn't a stabbing. It was more of a slashing.
Mm.
You can't really stab with a machete. If you're stabbing with a machete, you're fucking up.
It just won't go through.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of trouble going through.
It might... Yeah. It's not
Alright, this one. At least 23 people are killed after a huge flood in areas of West Virginia.
Areas of West Virginia?
Go.
For what?
Flood.
Flood. Oh, flood in West Virginia?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm surprised it killed 23 people. Have you been in West Virginia? Do you know how sparse that is?
Yeah.
I thought it kills 1 and 3 cows.
That was probably a whole city.
Yeah.
That was a whole town.
We were trying to plan a trip through the West so that we'd go down and loop around a whole other way. And I just couldn't find it anywhere in West Virginia worth going to.
How do you die in a flood? Do you not know how to swim? That has to be the only
No,
way.
because it rushes at you. It's like a wave in the ocean. It just
you get caught in an undertow or something.
Yeah,
you can't actually swim.
It's just brings you with it. It takes you down.
That has to be the way. You can't get to the top.
Or you're dumb and you can't swim.
Yeah, I don't think that makes you dumb.
Well, you just can't swim.
You just can't swim.
Yeah,
because when you're panicked and you can't swim, you're not going to know how to swim.
Yeah,
that's interesting. It's like one of those things where you want to experience it, but you don't because of the danger. But you want to what is it like to be in a flood? I want to know what it's like to see a tornado and see all that, but I don't actually want to be in danger of a tornado.
I always thought it'd be interesting living on your roof waiting for people to come rescue you.
Yeah.
What do those people do on the roof?
It's one of those things you don't want to experience, but you want to know what it's like to experience.
What's it like when you're on your roof and you need to take a shit and you're like, all right, guys, I'm gonna pull my pants down.
You have a whole area to shit in there.
Yep.
But what are how awkward is it where you're like, guys, who's the first one that's got to go? Guys, I want to poop off the side of this roof.
Guys, Did I tell you one time I was stuck in traffic and I had to pee really bad, so I actually had to get out of my car and pee off the side of the road?
What?
No,
Yeah.
But this was at least.
It was on 71.
Well, it was in traffic. So
it was in traffic, so I had to go behind as much cover as I could. Moment. But there wasn't enough, so it was kind of I got to do this. I was holding it as long as possible, but there was some kind of car wreck, so I was stuck in this traffic for at least a half hour before I realized
I'm not making it.
I gotta fucking do this. We were at a crawl, the literal crawl, and I'm like, shit. I fucking put it in park, put on the hazard lights, and ran over.
I bet some people next to you are laughing.
I was wondering how many people are going to record me and put me on YouTube.
You might be.
I wonder how many YouTube videos or Facebook feeds I'm on of just peeing on the side.
It'd be interesting to know if you're in any YouTube videos that you're unaware of.
Let's look it up.
How do you look it up?
Guy pees on side of highway or something like that.
Guy pees 71?
Yeah.
How do you recognize that's you?
I don't know if it's me.
There might be so many people.
It's easy to recognize yourself. That's so funny. I don't know why I never looked this up. Guy pees 71 highway. Oh my god. This will be so fucking funny if I'm on here. There's a guy peeing on. That's definitely not me.
There's a lot of people peeing on highways.
Let me put Ohio. Guy pisses in the middle of a traffic jam. FedEx man, not me.
That could have been you.
Could have been me. It looks like nobody recorded me that I know of.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Was that basically how you did it?
Yeah, except I tried to cover myself a little more.
See, at some point you just got no shame.
So there was nothing you could hide? So the traffic...
There was bushes. Yeah. I was on the other side. I wasn't in the median.
The other side of the traffic can see his dick.
Yeah.
That's awkward. I assume...
This guy's doing the best fucking smile. Oh, God.
So... You had it so no traffic could see your dick, right?
I tried to make it that way.
But that guy obviously...
That guy didn't give that guy gave no fucks about it.
Okay.
So far, it looks like I am not on any...
You didn't make the YouTubes.
Oh.
I'm okay with this.
That's very comforting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's our next bit?
Next thing.
Well, what? How did that start?
I don't remember.
How did that start, for real? June, highway.
Do you want me to try to find it in the middle of the podcast?
How did that start? Yeah, because I'm fucking curious of how we got to me being on the highway.
If I find it, I'll tell you.
We talked about slashing and machetes. In between that, we talked about drug smuggling.
I don't see it. Are
Before
we
that.
in June? Oh, flood.
Flood!
And then I talked about
how
shooting
you
off
shit
of
off the
a
roof.
building. Yeah.
Was that June?
Yes, that is June. Military officially lifts ban on transgender people too political?
Yeah.
That's not?
They lift ban on transgender. I don't know. One thing I have a problem with this whole transgender thing is, like, how many transgender really are there? Like,
Are we changing policies based on 0.0001% of the population?
I'd say maybe like 1% of being generous.
Yeah. That's what I don't even think 1%. I have seen...
It's not 1%. I'm saying being generous, let's say 1% of the population.
Yeah,
It's lower than 1.
It's way lower. In my lifetime, I have seen, like, I can count on my hand. The
Harry
number
lived
of
across
seen
from
several
like
times.
3 or 4.
Okay, that's like a cluster. He ran into
Yeah.
one cluster. All right, I think that counts as like one group.
We also don't live in that culture, though, so we don't think
That's
we...
true. But here's the other question: how many transgenders joined the armed forces?
Who the fuck knows? But, I mean, let's start with... I don't think they need any policy saying no discrimination against transgender. They just need the policy of no discrimination against anybody.
Yeah. It's a pretty simple policy.
If you want to fight for our fucking country, go ahead. The only thing I think that you need to do is pass, like, the physical test, so you're not going to be responsible
Completely
for killing
open.
other people.
Yep.
That's at that point.
What we call a merit-based system.
Yes, that's all you need to pass is a merit-based law.
Yep. With you on that.
Well, moving on then.
Yep.
And moving on. That
Was
was
that
a quick
June?
one. That was July.
July. Oh, moving along.
July 1st. So pretty early.
Juno successfully enters the orbit of Jupiter. Is that the
Juno must be a...
moon?
No, that must be a satellite?
Oh, satellite. Huh. Juno in July goes into Jupiter's orbit.
That's a lot of...
Just so you know.
It's very...
That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
That's so cool how they, like, use other planets' gravity to pick up speed.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how we eventually did it.
Yeah.
People...
I don't know. That's one thing where I point to when somebody's talking about religion and we're talking about science and one is, like, based on evidence and stuff. Like, look, you know what religion never did? Put a satellite into orbit. They never gave us cell phones. Religion never gave us X, Y, and Z. Whereas science...
Exactly. That's why you should become atheist.
Okay, so I started more as like a... What would you call it? A militant atheist or something? Where I was like more like when I was first atheist, I was like... Anytime somebody brought up God, I was like, let's argue about this. You should be atheist. You shouldn't believe in God. Mm-hmm. Now I'm more of the like... Well, technically, I don't really know. Maybe there is a God, maybe there isn't, but I don't believe in a God because there's no evidence for a God.
I just feel like there's no purpose of believing higher
Exactly.
powers' existence.
If you have no
Because-
evidence for it, why believe?
Yeah, only in this way you can put belief in yourself to achieve something and knowing that there is no other thing that's actually helping you, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
You put your own effort in discovery.
We're talking about with religion,
Mm-hmm.
you put a faith in a higher being, and that lets you put faith out of yourself to do things.
Yeah.
And we're saying there's really no reason to believe in a God without evidence, and you should just believe in yourself. I was talking about how I started off as like a militant atheist of like, if somebody brought up the God, I'd be like, why are you showing me the evidence, like really hardcore arguing. And now I'm more to the point like of a, what do they call it? What's the term? Like you don't know either way.
Agnostic?
Agnostic. I'm more of an agnostic atheist where I accept the fact that we can't ever prove a God or disprove, but there's no reason for me to believe because you can't prove a God.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think, yeah, there's no way to prove or disprove. I think there's an overwhelming abundance of evidence, or lack of evidence.
Yes, lack of
it
evidence.
existing. In which case, I think the default position is it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I do think you militant about it, like, we should argue about it. Like, I've never felt that way, and I generally think there are reasons not to believe in God exists, like logical based ones, but it helps you in your life to believe God exists. And if you can do it, it might help the way you live.
I think
sometimes I wish I could believe, but I believe I just can't logically put myself there.
Yeah, I think it helps certain people.
Yeah, I don't want to denigrate people that do, because
that's what I realized too.
Yeah,
I think it actually helps people, and there's no reason for me to attack people.
It gives people a purpose. Like sometimes I feel like, does life really have any meaning? It doesn't matter if I die tomorrow or whatever. Mm-hmm. But these people, they believe like there's a purpose. It all matters in the end. Like life's eternal in the most important sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna
feel the opposite in that way, though. I feel like belief in God removes purpose from my life, because like if I believe in a God, mm-hmm. and it would depend on what God you believe in, or if you just believe like deism, it would mm-hmm. make a difference in that way. But if you believe in like the Christian God, I feel like, what is the point of me doing anything? But when He knows everything I am going to do, and my life is already set. Because if He is omnipotent, and He is omniscient, and He is all those things, do I really have any choices? Do I have any freedom? Does He already know where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do?
Yeah, but it gives you kind of like a point. Like, He gives you goals. He says, if you do good things, you get into heaven, blah, blah, blah.
But you put that on yourself, though. You put in, like, I should be a good person because...
But there's no reason you need to. Like, I think the universe doesn't care.
But I feel like every Christian I've ever met that is like, I do good things because I'm Christian, mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever met somebody that's actually said it that way. But I think every person that I think, like, Christianity is a big part of their personality, they're a really good person, I feel like without the Christianity, they'd be the same person. They'd still be really giving and caring. Mm-hmm. I think that the Christianity has just become a part of their identity through...
So even if that's true, I also think many of the other things religion does, it builds a sense of community.
That is the big one.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I realized, like, recently in life that I never had, was a sense of community because of no religion. And that's what I read it, and then, like, martial arts and board games and stuff. Like, slowly I got these communities, and I was like, I slowly realized, oh, like, I never had a community growing up because we weren't religious.
I think going back to that's part of the meaning. Like, getting you into a sense of community and into a community, I think that's a part of the most people derive meaning from that.
Yes. But that's why I feel like if you took a Christian and started to introduce them to other communities, because I think there are so many other communities now.
Yeah.
Especially with the internet. Like, the board game community is huge.
But I just think religion's just much better at it. I think
they've had 2,000 some years.
No, I think religion is almost the...
Look at Shelby. There's like 10 plus churches there.
Yeah.
I think it's a tiny ass town.
I think it's the most well developed thing to establish like a community and a sense for your life. Like a purpose.
I agree.
Like that's the whole purpose of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all the things are nonsense, but they have other purposes. Like Islam, I think, is so good of a religion in the sense that it gets people to really believe and really follow its strictures. And, like, one of the things it does is you have to pray 5 times every day. And when you do that, you can't not think about your religion. It's on your mind 24/7. You're always thinking about your religion. So it gets you devoted. It gets you thinking about it all the time. It gets you in that community.
Science needs
part
some
of your
kind
life,
of community,
part of your identity.
like that.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not logical, because science is built on logic.
Is logical.
And this is playing on, like, I think religion...
You can have a science logical community, though.
No, I think part of religion plays on your little irrational beliefs to get you to do things. Like, you may have an irrational belief that things are caused by people because, so, like, they think spirits exist, or they think God does things when they're not looking. Like, it's an irrational belief. And they take that and they use it to get you into this belief. But they also add benefits, like you get community and all this stuff. And I just think it's in a system that's evolved, and it's very powerful.
Well, but I disagree where science couldn't do it. I think the problem is they're working from the ground up. They don't have anything set in place.
I just think it's harder to say, here's a logic-based reason why you should believe in community. Like, maybe it's there.
It's there. We're talking about it right now. We agree that communities are important. There's actually a church where you can go and you don't have to actually believe in anything, and they don't force anything upon you.
Yeah.
You could actually have like a Muslim and a Christian in that same church, and an atheist.
I do think in reading philosophy, that's the closest I get to anything like religion. Like, but it just doesn't build a sense of community. But it has.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like don't call it a church, but you have like the House of Science or something.
Yeah. Where
people can go and you can talk about the current science, and you would have like you should do like some kind of experiment.
Wait a second. Are you talking about academic conference?
Yeah. Sounds like college, which
Sounds
might
like
be
conference.
the closest thing.
Yeah.
Closest things to a church,
but there's
that
no
is rational as
college that you can go to as a 5-year-old with your parent. You know what I mean? Like they don't have that. You don't go and you bake cookies and you
that's called
do
schooling.
Charity.
5-year-old, you go to primary school.
But it's not science based. So.
Here's my argument. Even in college, you go to college and go to the STEM people, the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. See, like, what they're like. And then go to the humanities and liberal arts and gender studies and politics and see what they're like.
Yeah.
So, who has the stronger community? The people that are mostly in the non-logic-based fields. And they're like, you understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
Like, all those people that are now in the current year, like, going through these huge political Black Lives Matters movements and whatever movements, social justice movements, you don't find them in the STEM fields, the logic-based fields. You find them in the ones where logic just doesn't have much sway. Because the way you build that kind of sense of community, I think in some sense communities are crazy. It's a crazy thing to do.
They have a mob mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
I get what you're saying. That's an interesting take on communities.
Your turn, Chloe.
Okay.
Guess you have to have a small community.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You don't sort
like
of
you
like
go above
bond
the 10
with...
range, you're getting into like, okay, this isn't like that's when you're getting.
You can't logically figure it out. You have to just start being irrational about stuff.
Just people tend to hang out with the people who share the same mind.
Yeah.
Right? And then for some reason the people who happens to be in the non-STEM fields feel strongly for the community.
Yeah, that's
right?
true.
Social movements.
And you start to get that bias where I keep hanging out with everybody that believes my stuff, and you start to get even more illogical away from the opposite beliefs. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like social justice warriors, they keep hanging out with people that believe the same thing they do, so they fight so hard about the things they believe in because they're not around people that believe the opposite thing. It's like a confirmation bias always around.
It's not people believing the opposite thing. Like, for example, in the STEM field, people say believing. I won't say believe in, but they base their understanding of the world
on evidence.
On evidence, mathematics. Yeah. Those things are not prejudice. Those things are no bias because it's objective, right?
Exactly.
There's no sense of bias in there, so there's no sense of fighting for unbiased.
I think you've got a good point.
It's fundamentally unbiased.
But when you go into those where logic doesn't matter, it's more about what you feel and like whose side you're on, and what you feel about. And that's where you get the community. When you talk about whose side are you on and how do you feel about things, that's a good community builder. Not evidence and logic.
And the perfect example would be the affirmative actions in college, right? Mm-hmm. If you're in, say, like in the humanity or the other majors, non-STEM field majors, you may feel like some race got less in this college. It must be because of the bias, right? But for the STEM field, it's like, okay, here's the standard test, and this is your score. Your score's not high enough. Means you don't have enough fundamental knowledge for that. Means you shouldn't get in.
It's objective.
Gotcha. It's subjective. It's
objective, whereas the other fields are subjective.
Right. So there's no sense of why do you need affirmative action? right? This is just the education for the people who have this base knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have this base knowledge, you should have another set of education to guide you more towards that, rather than you just, giving a short guy a really high heels and hopefully
That's
that
the
guy
problem
can play basketball.
with that,
right?
in general.
I think we're veering a little into
What
politics.
is it called? Where you have to hire a certain number of
Affirmative action.
affirmative action. That's the problem with affirmative action is, once again, merit-based system. It gets rid of that. All right, what's our next one for August? We're moving into August.
August 7th, Caleb Schwab, the 10-year-old of the Kansas State Representative Scott Schwab, is killed while riding something I could not pronounce. The world's tallest water slide.
What?
Shut up water park in Kansas City, Kansas. So basically, this Kansas State Senator representative's son riding the world's tallest water slide and whoops, died. So that made it to the news.
Yeah, what's funny is that makes it to the news. Just because it's a senator's son.
I think the one is also tallest water slide.
But still,
it only made the news because
I'm sure
the
dumb
senator's
people die all the time doing stupid things. And I mean,
What
not
did the
dumb,
kid
it's
do?
just
Was
so
it
weird.
his fault or malfeasance?
The world's tallest water slide.
And the next day, legislation on water slides was introduced.
Yeah, that's basically how it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about it other than, I mean, it's really not real news other than it made Wikipedia because he's the son of a state representative. I mean, it could have happened to anybody. What difference does it make that it happened to the son of...
Joe
He's
Schmo,
not even a U.S. representative, Kansas State representative.
Yeah.
Why is this news at all?
Maybe somebody feel very strong for this.
I just think State Representative Scott Schwab is a Wikipedia editor.
It's
This is the most important thing that has happened in the world.
I'm sorry to hear that the kid died, but yeah, it's not like a world news or national news.
I don't have
you
anything
don't
to
feel
say other
strong
than
for
that.
Yeah. Moving on. We gave him
pro-Tyler.
too much time already.
Gene Wilder passes away at the age of 83
Is that
in August 29th.
He stopped being in movies like
20 years ago, maybe even 30.
That's called a retirement.
After
I recommend
his
people does that.
like the Blazing Saddles and all that stuff.
I always liked him.
He just stopped.
He was good in almost everything.
Yeah, he was.
Like I can't think.
He's
of
just one of those
anything I don't
actors
like
that
him in.
like, you know what? I've made enough money and I'm done with the limelight.
Yeah.
He had integrity.
He's
Yeah.
cool.
Weird.
He was a great actor though. All his movies were good.
Yeah, I can't think of a bad thing I saw.
It's not like I've gone through his filmography and tried to like watch everything, but everything he's known for.
Yeah, he was really funny in Blazing Saddles.
That's the problem. We might have a bias of
Because we only
watch
saw
the things
the
that
good
are he's
stuff,
popular
yeah.
for. So let's go.
He could be in pure shit. And
This
just 10
is
years
why
later,
we have
no
the
one watches it.
interwebs. IMDb.com. Let's see if Gene Wilder was in some bullshit. Because that's an interesting, because it wasn't from our time, so it's a good chance he was in some. Young Frankenstein. Great movie.
Yeah. That was a great movie. Ridiculously stupid, but hilarious. Bromhilda. What's the last year he was in something?
That's what I'm curious.
2015.
He was in Yo Gabba Gabba.
Really? That's
Holy
crazy.
crap. He was probably like
What
a
else?
guest star.
What's the last major
Well,
role?
let's go from order. Where did his career really start? Death as a Salesman, TV movie. I'm sure that was good.
The Producers, good movie.
Bonnie and Clyde, The Producers, good. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. That's going to be his big one. 71.
Yeah.
Scarecrow. That was a TV movie, so who cares?
No one's heard of it.
Everything you always wanted to know about sex, but were
Never
afraid
heard
to
of it.
ask. Dr. Ross. Okay, I've heard of her. Rhinoceros. Blazing Saddles, 74. There are a lot of movies in between the goods. Young Frankenstein.
He had some filler.
Yeah.
Like anybody. He actually just wasn't in that many
It was
movies
basically,
altogether.
yeah. But 2000...
Few hits.
It went from
couple fillers.
2003, he stopped, and then 2015 he made an appearance
Even
on
that
Yo
was
Gabba Gabba.
Well, even in 03 it was a TV series, just an appearance in a TV
Yeah,
series,
he
not
made
a
an
main
appearance.
show.
Maybe because he's
On Will and Grace. So he had like a little character
Yeah,
for a year.
he might have not been very healthy.
Yeah.
He was a great actor, though. I mean, he did have a short filmography, but
Yeah, like
Young
I'm
Frankenstein,
trying to
Blazing Saddles, and Willy Wonka. That was pretty much it. Wait, what was the movie
Hear
where
No
he was
Evil,
blind?
Fear No
Yeah, there you go.
With Richard Pryor? Yeah,
that was
a
another good one. So, yeah, he had filler, but not as much as normal.
Normal as in today's Hollywood standard.
Yeah, then they just throw a lot. Whatever.
Yeah.
Here's another paycheck for you, buddy.
That was such a good movie. Hear No Evil, See No Evil.
Can I
Or
read
See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Can I read a September one? It's a fairly
Sure.
interesting one.
Yeah.
John Hinckley Jr., September 10th. John Hinckley Jr., the man who tried to assassinate U.S. President Ronald Reagan, is released from a psychiatric hospital after 35 years.
Wow.
That's a long time.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, what do you do after, like, your release? What do you think his life is
What was
like?
the year?
1981. He was in there for
81.
35 years.
Wow.
Like,
How do you acclimate to normal society after 35 years in prison?
yeah.
I think in Shawshank Redemption, we all know what's happening.
That's true. And one other question. So he apparently didn't go to prison. He was in a psychiatric hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So he was clearly crazy.
He got the... So yeah, why is he released? Did he go uncrazy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 35 years? 35 years and you're like, that's enough therapy.
Yeah, not so crazy anymore.
34 years? You were still a bit crazy.
Well, maybe they have psych meds now that could work for him.
Could be, but it just happened to be 35 years. I don't know. I think they're just like...
There might be a mandatory minimum sentence.
I think at 80, like, the man's probably like 80 years old now. And they're probably like, yeah, you're crazy as shit, but you're so old you don't even have the energy to
Yeah, it really is
kill
a
anybody.
Shawshank kind of thing where, like, he's just so old and they released him. It probably wasn't a good thing to release him.
Yeah.
It probably would have been better just
And
to
it probably
stay
costs
in
money to keep the guy around.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
that's
probably right. It's
sad.
probably a funding thing. Like, well,
I'll just break in the law so that I can get back in again.
as soon as he gets out, just stab a guy.
Or try to assassinate another president.
That's a lot harder to do.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if he actually
Immediately
was
after being
arrested
released.
again
Oh my
later
God.
this year?
Cheers. I just missed my
He was
friend.
released this year, so you could try and assassinate Obama.
And he's still trying to impress Jodie Foster. You
Oh, that's right. That was that
that's
guy.
that guy. He was trying
Oh my God.
So he was clearly nuts.
Yeah.
He wanted to impress Jodie Foster, a famous actress, by killing the president.
What if Jodie Foster did a big thing where she actually announced, you know what, that was really impressive. Can you do it again?
Like, that guy's crazy. What kind of thought process goes, oh, I really like that girl in the movies. I'll kill the president. She'll like me then.
Yeah, well.
Like, that's a good defense for the insanity plea.
So let's just talk about that's how crazy works. Like the guy that...
Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, people that come up with, oh, I want to pretend like I'm crazy, and they come up with something that isn't as crazy is.
Like, what's the
But
guy
that
in the
guy's killing
70s with the Nazi tattoo? Or, like...
Oh, Charles Manson?
Charles Manson. He said, like, the Beatles song inspired him for all that murder. The...
Oh, really?
When I get to the bottom, I go back to the top of the slot. Helter Skelter.
And that's why he wanted to kill people?
Yeah. That was one of the things that inspired him to
No,
murder
that's
people.
fair. That song makes me want to kill people, too.
It's a good-ass song, though. Wanna call?
More talk juice.
More coffee juice. Okay, looks like we can move into... Holy shit. Oh, no. Never mind.
What?
There was a train crash, and it killed one person and injured 114. I saw 114 and kill, and I thought that was the
Wait,
kill count.
are you only going through the U.S. news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only place that matters.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
Obviously.
I see how it is.
To be fair, we went to World and it was mostly like UN resolution, whatever, passes. Some guy we've never heard of starts a coup. It's like I don't know what
I think
have nothing to say about that.
Turkey's cool. It's
Yes,
Here we go. Here's a good one. Samsung announces the official October 10th, 2016. Samsung announces an official discontinuation of Samsung Galaxy Note 7 smartphone after reports of the phone overheating and combusting, posing a severe health risk. God damn, that was a great phone besides that whole thing.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah.
You really liked it. What do you have now? Is that a 7? Or
It's a 7 Edge.
Oh, I'm thinking about getting an Edge now.
Yeah. I loved the phone, and it's so sad that it fucking blew up because it was such a great phone. I was like, man, I want to take the risk.
It's funny. When did that happen?
Well, October 10th.
They're still announcing now. We just took a flight back, and they're still every flight, no matter what.
Yeah, they have to.
Every single flight, they say, and we're now letting you know if you own a Samsung Note 7, you may not take it on the plane. The FAA has ruled. Da 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 da. It's like.
Well, I think that's gonna not happen anymore because
they're recalling.
No, the actual Samsung is shutting down all those devices.
Oh, okay.
But if you hacked your device, it would still work.
Yeah, you just stop the system update.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like the worst advertising in the world. It's like the most anti-advertising.
Here's the only thing that makes it still good is me and many other people are like, I still kind of want this phone. Like, can I risk the explosion part to keep this phone? Like, that's how good of a phone it was. That, like, the whole pen feature was really sweet. Being able to pull out the pen and it automatically brought up notes if you wanted to. And then, like, you could highlight, instead of screenshotting the whole thing, you could actually highlight exactly what you wanted to screenshot with the pen.
Okay. I have a Note 2, and I basically never use the pen.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Me
never.
either. That's why I never even knew there was a special thing about the Note 7. But Harry was like, "Oh, you got the Note 7? The pen's supposed to be really cool." And he started messing with the pen and doing all these crazy stuff. Like, whoa! I did not know that phone had any of those features.
Yeah, when I first bought a Note 2, I was like, "Oh, it'll be really cool. I'll be able to take notes with a pen and stuff." And then I downloaded Evernote, and then Evernote, like, you can't actually take notes with your pen and have it actually try to read your writing or save notes.
Yeah, it did that.
It didn't have any interaction.
It changed your writing into text.
I actually don't. Well, it didn't. Evernote didn't.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. And I was like, well, this is shit. And I basically never used it again. I looked for several hours trying to find use for the pen. Nothing.
Yep. Yeah.
Nothing came up.
That's why I didn't bother using the Note 7s right away, because I was like, I did the same thing when I first got a Note. I was like, oh, I'm going to use this pen. I tried using it. I'm like, eh.
There's no real good
Using
use.
my finger is just more reliable, and then using actual thumbs to text.
But you're saying 7 kind of actually brought use to it and made it cool.
7 actually, I pulled out the pen all the time.
And then it was like, oh, but sometimes it explodes.
Oh wait, it might explode. Yeah, I was disappointed on that.
Right on your face.
I want to see the first terrorist that sneaks a Samsung Note 7 onto the plane is like, everybody get down on the fucking floor! I got a goddamn Note 7!
And they go, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it though, like, for planes, that's such a huge issue. A fire on a plane?
Yeah.
That's like, we're all fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, give us something in November.
November.
We're almost to the end of the year. This is actually more recent news.
Yeah. Now I remember this stuff.
If there's something in September, you can do that. Or October. That was October 10th recall.
Okay. More than 300 people are injured, 26 seriously after police used water cannon, tear gas, rubber bullets, and concussion grenades on a peaceful protest against proposed construction on the Dakota Access Pipeline on the Standing Rock Indian Reservation.
Yeah, I've seen
that
bits
whole
and pieces
Indian
of
reservation thing. So that's 2 protests this year that were big.
I don't know enough about this. Like,
yeah,
this goes back to there's too much news nowadays. Like, I don't know whose side I'm on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I don't have enough time to research it to give you my opinion.
I have a very strong belief in ownership rights. So but it just comes down to who really owns it.
Indian reservation. I'm going to side with the Indians on this one.
No,
let's just go back as far as we can.
I think the whole America, including the place they're sitting on, is owned by the Indians.
No, but wait, see, that's the problem with that. You can't treat them as groups. Like, at some point, you have to say this is accepted ownership, and that's it. Like, you can't just go back. Oh, well.
But isn't the whole point is Indians have kind of like they can sidestep federal law?
No, why can't they sidestep federal law?
Because they have their own reservations.
But
where they can have casinos and shit like that.
But my point is, do they really own it? We basically tried to pass legislation that said, we stole all that land, so... But we can't undo it. We can't say, you get...
that was the point.
They're not going to give Manhattan back to all the Native Americans.
But that was the point, though. So then their reservation, they said this is your Indian reservation. Now they're coming to try and build a
No. That's my point. I don't know if it's on the Indian reservation or not.
They just said on Indian reservation.
Is it on Indian reservation?
They're trying to build a pipeline through an Indian reservation.
Okay.
And they're saying, well, it was yours, but now we really want to build this pipeline, so fuck you.
Then based on my interpretation now, I'm pretty well against it, although there is one small...
How much does this lower gas prices?
No. Not lowering gas prices. There is eminent domain in the Constitution, whereas if it's in the national interest, they can actually take your land, right? If they feel like it's...
Yes, but the whole point is Indian reservations are supposed to kind of be above eminent domain. Unless
it's not. It's in the Constitution, eminent domain. Indian reservations aren't in the Constitution. The Constitution supersedes all law.
Yeah, okay.
So if it's in the Constitution, then according to the rules, if it's in the national interest, and that's an important bit, they should be able to take it.
But
now, do I know if it's in the national interest?
Define national interest. That is oil prices go down.
Like if we need this to beat Russia, and some people would make the argument that we do because we need to take the oil prices down, so Russia is economically hurt.
And an oil, if a war occurs, is super important.
But this goes back to I don't know, because I'm not in the government and I can't.
And that's the problem with both sides is we don't know if it is in the national interest, and the liberal people that would be completely against this aren't thinking about that whole situation where maybe the federal government is like, look, I get this as an Indian reservation, but like Russia might kill us. Yeah. Like we might hurt Russia over building this.
But there's always the problem of it also might be corporate interest trying to claim that, we're really trying to hurt Russia. We really just want to make money off this oil pipeline. You know what I mean? It's like we can't tell. We can't tell. I have no idea. It's so hard to know whose side I'm even supposed to be on in 2016 American politics.
I got it. One Indian is represented as a gladiator. The government chooses one person as their gladiator and they fight for what happens.
There's a follow-on. Mm-hmm. December 4th, the United States Army Corps of Engineers under the Obama administration denies the easement of the Dakota Access Pipeline through Lake
So they didn't build it?
In the Standing Rock Indian Reservation and will look for alternative routes.
Wow.
They did not.
Wow.
But...
They got so much backlash.
No, I believe with the Trump administration coming back in, they're thinking about doing it because Obama represents the left and obviously the
somewhat left.
Yeah. So but like I don't know. I don't know if it's really in the national interest.
That's the biggest issue with that. Once again, though, gladiatorial combat.
It solves it. They should fight to the death over it. Although the winner, because I had a bigger, better warrior doesn't mean it's the right decision.
Yeah.
But it solves the problem.
Oh, yeah, it brings it to an end.
Well, how many people was it injured? 300?
Yeah.
You just saved 300 people from getting injured by one guy. He's got a point.
So the gladiatorial combat ends it, but we don't know if the decision is right.
But whereas, no matter what, we didn't know if it was right.
Versus our current process, basically a bunch of hundreds of millions of people voted for some guy. Do we know that was the right decision? That we make the right decision because more people voted for him in the right states? No.
We've hastened the decision and
it doesn't make any sense.
Use so much less resources and time.
Yeah. So gladiatorial
2017 gladiatorial combat. If there's any precedent that'll approve it.
Bring back fight to the death.
Alright, November. Where was that pipeline at?
That was
it wasn't Alaska.
Dakota.
North? South? There's two of those.
They say Dakota Access Pipeline, so it probably goes through both. So that was November? Yeah, more in this. Should we do the second OSU attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
November 28th, 11 people are hospitalized with injuries after 18-year-old...
How many people?
11.
The other one was 4?
Yeah.
Or 7?
So he really...
almost tripled the injury count.
The Columbus-based Muslims really upped their game for number 2. 11 people are hospitalized with injuries after 18-year-old Abdul Razak Ali Artan attacked students on the campus of Ohio State University with his car.
Okay, well, everybody knows the story. That was so recent.
Hey, no, we have non-Ohio-based listeners.
No, I just want to go. We do have random 3 in California and 2 in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I'm going to say you guys should email us at Zach, Z-A-C-H, at discourseofhumanevents.com. But my point is, you said they're increasing their injury, like their count.
Yeah.
Both of them haven't killed one person.
Yeah, so no, they're not very good, but they're increasing at this rate. One day
The next attack they're going to kill.
They're working hard on it.
You know what I think is so
Don't
crazy about
discourage
this? 18 years old. Like, if I think back to when I was 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
not even thinking
Looking
about.
at goddamn drug mart, like fucking wow.
Yeah, like.
Well, let's
like
our life in a Muslim person's life
I know.
in Columbus, Ohio, is so vastly different.
But the guy was going to university. He was going to college. Like, I don't understand how at 18 years old you could think that's even a thing to do. Maybe it's
Because
hard,
you weren't raised Muslim your whole life.
yeah, it's hard for me to put myself in their head and
It
understand.
is so impossible to do that.
Like, what logic leads you to think?
Somebody telling
it,
you
I'm
these
getting
white
a car.
people, like, America is awful, they're taking
he's
over,
here.
they're being terrible.
Like, he's here. He can't be like, I can just, maybe my life sucks, but that's cool. I'm in America. I can go get wasted. I can go.
Can he, though?
I can go download porn.
You
like
might still
crazy and
live with
whack
parents
it
who
and
are
play
Muslim.
video games.
Can he, though?
Yes, because he's 18.
But he lives with his parents, probably.
That's maybe the problem. Like, they don't realize that at 18, technically, legally, you can do anything without your parents.
That's
say
what
so,
you say, but I know somebody
You
who
ever heard
has
of
gone.
honor kill?
What?
Have you heard of honor kill?
Yeah, I know. But
That
still,
just happens to girls over 18.
he can leave and he'd never tell his parents
Yes.
where he's going.
I know
if
somebody,
your
though,
parents
that
got
was
being
Muslim.
undone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this person had the whole, what is it called, the hijab?
Yeah.
Had that, and now she went away from all that because she actually did do that.
Mm-hmm.
But now she doesn't get to see her family. She's completely shunned
Yeah,
her
cut
family.
off.
So it's like these times like this, like the holidays, is a very depressing time. Like, you gotta think that's like now. Basically, she had to get rid of her whole family to denounce her religion. So it's like you get rid of one bad thing to get maybe what you call freedom. So this guy, that's probably what he was. His whole struggle in life was like, if I want to be free, I have to get rid of my whole family.
Mm. I'm just saying.
Like, we never had that kind of struggle in life.
I know. I'm just saying, nowadays, if you want to get rid of your whole family, there are other options, and that includes video games, porn, drugs, and alcohol. It makes it an easier decision to go, meh.
Let's just say if I knew
need
the
'em.
kid, and he was like, man, I really just want to, like, cut some people, I'd be like, look, let's just get fucked up. You can forget about that.
Exactly. That's what, they always say increase mental health. I say increase the amount of people that'll be like, dude, let's go get wasted and go to a strip club.
That's also
cool.
like the thing,
That's
like
cool.
how many friends did this person have
Yeah.
to talk him out of it and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what
he
kind of
probably had
community
nobody-
did he have?
Yeah.
Probably a negative community. Very negative community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about the strengths of communities earlier.
Yeah,
Now
I
we're
can
talking
see
about
how
the
he's
negatives
feel,
of communities.
He can feel trapped. He's trapped in his own community.
Completely trapped.
Yeah.
It happens when
Was
you
that
cut
November or that
connections
was
with all the
late
other
November.
peoples in the society,
November 28th.
so that you feel disconnected with the society,
Mm.
and that's
You-
how it happens.
You're disconnected from society, but you're super connected to your community. Like, it's the only thing that exists to you.
Well, this happens the same in the Johnstown, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just drinking the Kool-Aid, just different branding.
Mm.
That's why I'm still rooting for the atheism.
Mhm.
You're not supposed to believe.
I
There's
know, I'm
something
just saying.
higher up
I understand
telling
how
you
it
to do
works.
things.
Alright,
Use
the
your
only
own
non-political
judgment.
thing in December is John Glenn dies, the astronaut.
Sad story.
December 8th. At the age of 95. That was an old motherfucker. In
Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio. I think he was stabbed by that dude.
No, I don't know. he didn't die of old age. He was just stabbed. He was just stabbed.
Oh, no, because that would give that kid a kill count of 1.
It's sad. He was a great hero and all, but at 95, I'm like, dude, you had
I don't feel
you
sorry.
had an amazing life.
Yeah.
95 is a long-ass time.
It says
It
he was
is.
a colonel.
You can't be that sad.
He was a colonel.
I don't think
Yeah.
he's that sad.
What
was
about
a
being
colonel.
Okay.
I didn't
Said
know
it
he
a
was
few
a
times.
colonel.
Yeah, he was a military guy. They don't just select random people to be astronauts. They're usually from the Air Force, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Makes sense. I just didn't know that. He was in the United States, the Marine Corps, the United States Army, the Marine Corps, and the Air Force.
Now that's an achiever right there.
Right.
That's a very old go-getter.
The pay grade for a colonel is 06. What the fuck is that?
That's how much you'll get paid every year. Do you not know how government works?
An O and a 6.
Yeah, look
Oh,
at
the level.
06 pay grade. You'll get his exact
Really?
salary or a range.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, you know all the public servants. You can look up Alan's salary if you really want.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's Government in the Sunshine Law. Like, you're supposed
That's
to be able
like,
to know everything.
So 06.
You're
colonel,
paying their
captain.
salaries.
But how much is it?
06.
Oh, here we
06.
go. 1,000 what? Oh, monthly. So 6,000 monthly. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
it's like 80 grand a year.
Yeah. But it, like after 18 years, it's almost $10,000 a month.
And he wasn't just getting that. He got endorsements.
Oh, God. Well, he's John Glenn, so yes.
Yeah, he was a U.S. senator.
Again, yeah. I guarantee he was making millions.
He's definitely had his life.
Yeah.
It's sad, though, that he
He's
got cut in November by that guy, and then...
Sad turn of affairs. He could have
Wait a
lived to
second.
96, 136.
if only
you know,
he
you
wasn't
never know.
walking around the campus at that time.
Shockingly.
So I wonder, do you think anything super eventful will happen in the next 4 days or 5 days?
5 days?
You never know.
Yeah, it's over in
It's a
5
week
days.
almost.
The
I don't know. I feel
the
like...
France attack, the attacking in France was happening in January.
Did it? In January. We're saying before,
Before
just
January.
December.
Yeah, but
What's
it's
into
still
December?
possible.
Any
Not the
predictions
time.
for this last week?
No, like, I feel like...
I want to hear some predictions for next year after this, but anything
Okay.
for the next week.
No, I think basically, at least since we're doing U.S. news, in the Western world, things just basically shut down for 2 weeks. Like, nothing really happens. It's just like,
Oh, so boring.
you go see your family, it's nothing.
Except if a terrorist attack or something did happen. Having
Yeah.
it happen at this time would
You
be
know,
crazy.
the Muslims don't follow the same calendar. They might do something crazy.
Actually, no, because it'd be hard to do like a big attack because everybody
Yeah.
is kind of like with family. And
No. But New Year's Eve could be one
New
big
Year's
attack
Eve would
back
be
there,
the time.
when
Yeah.
everyone's all
Like
together.
Times Square.
Yeah.
If anything
I
happens,
think we just
it'll
thought
happen
if something
that
happens,
day.
it would happen New Year's Eve.
And by the way, to follow up on our last one, terrorist advice: good time to hit.
Good time. FBI and CIA people.
We're just joking. That's obvious information.
Yeah, obviously joke. This is parody.
Yeah, what we really need to say is terrorists should go to a rural area, find where it's like one population per 10 square miles, and
All we
bomb
have to
that.
say is New York City, Times Square.
No. They should go...
I wonder how much the security is around there
They should
now.
try to bomb Montana.
Crazy.
Rural Montana.
Yeah,
Bomb
that's what we
rural
meant.
Montana.
Rural Montana.
No one will see it coming.
Get those goddamn
You're
Montanans.
right. No one will see it coming. 'Cause
What is
why
a
do you do
person from
that?
Montana called? A Montanian?
Yeah. Can you imagine the headline? Terrorist suicide bomber kills one person and 13 cows.
And a rock. Alright.
No, it will
Any
be.
predictions for
It'll be
2017? Big
funny.
predictions.
The headline was one suicide attack,
One person
Strike
died.
Montana.
The suicide attack.
one person injured, 2 bear injured. He got attacked by the bear.
2 bear confused.
Predictions for
2017
2017. I gotta think for a minute.
Another Columbus attack?
Ooh, that's an interesting
got two.
one.
Hope not.
Yeah, I think if we get even one major one, it's terrible. Like
I'm
it's
going to
a
call
bad
it's going to be a
sign.
shooting.
Oh, that's a
Because we got 2 slicers.
I think it's a very bad sign that
I think
like
so too. Bad omens. I read it in my
Yeah.
coffee grounds this morning.
other predictions.
You made it sound so serious.
Because I am serious that I think that actually is going to happen.
I think Twitter might be bought.
Where did this come from?
They've been losing
they're
stock like
sinking
crazy.
ship.
Are they like on Silicon Valley where it's like, we're not in the business of actually making money. We need to lose money and recruit people.
That's basically Twitter. I don't think they can survive another year.
How do they lose money and
What do you mean,
over recruiting?
Oh, that's the tech
Burn
standard.
Yeah.
I know, it's just crazy. It boggles my mind.
It's interesting. You can go on Google Finance and look. I think they lose $500 million a year.
Who? Twitter.
Yeah. It might be a quarter.
And that's crazy. Their goal, though, is on the show. They're hoping that it becomes such a big cash cow that it's worth it to lose 10 quarters in a row or something.
That's what they say. Years. I think the real thing is I think they hope they get bought by Microsoft or Google or one of the big players, and those big players think they can integrate them with existing services and get more value out of it than Twitter itself is getting.
I think instead of being bought, I think one of the big companies will shut down.
Shut down?
Like Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter. I think Facebook is too large at this moment.
Yeah, Facebook's not going to go down. I do think...
One of the big ones is going to become a MySpace.
Yeah. I do think we're oversaturated with new products.
Look, just Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Tumblr. Those are your 5 big ones.
I think Tumblr will die. For sure.
Tumblr?
I think Tumblr's already pretty much dead.
Yeah.
Because it's under Yahoo management, and they've never done anything good in the last 15
years. But of the
years.
big ones, I think one of them's going to go down. Because, once again, you can't...
Well, you got to define go down. MySpace still exists. It's just a piece of shit.
That's what I mean by go down. Dig go down.
Okay, yeah.
It becomes irrelevant. Nobody talks about it. Nobody cares about it.
What do you think about Reddit? I would be curious what happens in 2017, because there was been so much turmoil with Ellen Powell...
But I still use Reddit every fucking day.
I know.
Multiple
that's
times a day.
So Spez changes comments, and it's I still go. It's hard to get away from it.
Yeah.
Which is...
Because even when I go to vote, it's I can't... I don't know. There's something about it that doesn't feel
What
right.
do they have that you can't lose it?
Yeah.
They have some sort of monopoly.
They have a community, so they're used to it.
So what could bring them down? What could kill that network effect?
I don't know.
Could Spez go in there and just change comments every day and you're still going?
At this point, there's no other site that's good enough. Vote goes down all the time.
Really?
It's there's something about Vote that it's too similar to Reddit. It's why don't I just go to Reddit?
Yeah, I agree. I can't get good content from anywhere else.
There might be something about when I see the upvotes are 200 is a huge one at Vote. There might be something psychological. I'm why am I part of this shitty ass community? There might be something to that, and that also might be one of the reasons for the change that they really made, where they showed did you see that change? The upvotes now on Reddit are 35,000.
Yeah, I saw that.
They see 35K.
Huge.
They made it more open for showing exactly the counts more closely. So now you actually see 35K. Holy shit! People are actually. Because I always wondered that. Why are these only 5,000? Because they haven't got much up, down, up, down, up, down on votes.
I don't. So what would kill it? That's my question. Can he? Is it such a monopoly? It's unkillable. Could Spez go around raping babies? And you're
well, I think he would just get fired as a CEO. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing.
Think what would have to happen is the user experience has to go down.
But he didn't censor, but he changed people. I think changing people's comment is worse.
Yeah. Well, he did it to the Donald, and so not enough people cared about it.
It's hated enough.
Yeah. Enough people hated on Reddit were yeah, fuck those guys.
See, that's the problem with businesses today. Essentially, there can't be competition if basically it's a monopoly that can't die.
That's why when you talk about libertarian, which most of my views, I think there's a point to where the consumers aren't smart enough or have enough power.
Yeah, they can't band together.
Monopolies can actually occur too easily.
I do believe there should be antitrust power. You should be able to break it. What is it
about Reddit? I don't understand it either.
Yeah, somehow they have...
I guarantee you, before I go to bed, after you guys leave, I'll check Reddit.
Yeah.
Let's see what's new in the news. It's the best news source so far. I know exactly what's going on in the world.
How did the Dig die?
How did Dig die? Oh, I know. I was there when it happened.
Yeah,
I used to be Dig, and I switched to Reddit.
Totally Dig person.
Yeah. So what happened?
How did Dig die? is how Reddit might.
And I followed you after.
That was the thing. That it can't happen because there were two big ones. There was Dig and there was Reddit. And I would say Reddit had maybe 30% and Dig had 70%. And then Dig got caught censoring, and that 70% went to Reddit. And then Reddit basically had 100%.
Maybe I need to check out Dig. I haven't gone back to Dig ever.
I went back like a couple years ago.
What did you like about it?
I think there's basically no one there.
You don't think so? Joe Rogan talks about Dig. He likes going on Dig all the time.
Really? Dig's a new thing now? I like it.
I don't think it's a new thing. I think he never left.
Really?
Yeah.
That's shocking.
Yes, I think he just never... I'm curious. I'm going on Dig now because I'm just curious of what the UI and everything looks like. I think there just needs to be a massive like banding together of people going like, all right, guys, like it's time.
It's really hard to build that many people though.
And it's become a part of the culture. Like I go into work and I'm like, hey, did you see the thing on Reddit?
Yeah.
You know, like it's become such a big entity.
If Reddit dies, it definitely is the management themselves fuck it up.
Yeah.
Just be good as is, you know?
I agree, though. I thought that one might have been like the last...
You know what I think might actually kill it? Is if they piss off enough of the wrong people, and those people mount attacks on them, like DDoS, and like Reddit's down for like...
if it keeps on going down, yeah.
Yeah, or something like that.
That could be
people
the Donald Trump
an alternative.
too. Well, a lot of the 4chan people are
I think if it goes down in any way, that's going to be the way.
Do you ever browse 4chan?
Yeah, sometimes.
I like 4chan every now and then. It's like a little treat you got to give yourself every now and then.
No, it's not a treat. Like, the thing is...
I call it a treat.
If I go and, like, every now and then you find gold, but it's 99% shit. Pure fucking shit. It's just like...
That's why I love it.
It doesn't even make sense. It's just stupid. Like, sometimes I go in there and like, what is the IQ of these people? They're like retarded. Some of the things don't make any sense at all.
That's why it's
Well, I also think you don't go to 4chan all the time, so by saying they don't make sense at all, there's probably so many in-jokes.
That could be. But a lot of it I just think is crap. But, like, it's just so much is generated that out of all that crap, you get a few gems.
I don't know. I honestly think 4chan is hilarious.
Really? What? Yeah. Which part? Like...
Just the random shit that they post on there.
No, like, a lot of it's just the same old shit, like different Pepes and they...
Different Pepes.
It's like, okay, Pepe's a bit funny, but how much Pepe can I take? But every now and then they have something that just shocks me.
I invest in my Pepe.
Shocks me and is hilarious. But usually they get posted to Reddit, they're so good.
That's what I like about it, though, is it's such an open format. You never know what you're going to get.
The guy found a skull under the French catacombs.
Yeah.
And he posted pictures of him fucking it. And then the guy posting the liters of pop bottles where he was collecting his own semen.
I think my biggest problem with 4chan is the UI.
Yeah, the UI is not that good.
Terrible.
That's always been the problem.
No. The biggest
and
problem
also
is...
half of it's dicks and tits.
Sometimes I see things on there where, like, I'm not sure this is legal. I'm not clicking on that. FBI, I'm clearing my cache.
Like, I'm not sure these people are of age.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah. I did not in any way intentionally seek this out.
Where does one go to find free sex? There's so much porn in the random. Do you go to the RB? Do you go anywhere else?
I go to... Okay, here's...
RB.
So,
the B?
No. Here, I hadn't gone back to 4chan since, like, 2008, 2009 or something. Yeah. I basically forgot it existed for a long time. Until there was that shooter that was from R9K.
What's R9K?
It was Robot 9000 or something. And I remember... So
that's a board?
It's the weirdest story, and it could only happen in 4chan.
That's why I love 4chan.
So, do you know XKCD,
There's
right?
Robot 9001, is that what it was?
Yeah, R9K.
But it's R9K1.
Probably. Do you know XKCD?
Yes.
Okay. And I remember doing this. XKCD, way back in 2008, he made like a chat room where if you typed the same thing as somebody else had already typed, it doesn't get posted. So it was trying to create originality. Okay. Somehow, that turned into a big thing. I remember going to this chat room and typing things, because I used to be really into XKCD.
Yeah.
But somehow, that became a 4chan forum, and it evolved into mostly guys complaining about women not being able to get girls or something.
Terrible.
Yeah, and about unemployed guys. It's basically like a women hate a forum or something. Yeah, they'll talk about neat bucks on there, which I've learned is not employed, not in employment technology or not in employment training, something else.
What?
So that's what they call welfare. That's what they call welfare.
Oh.
Is neat bucks. And it's just this weird culture. But I went there because there was a shooter that posted to R9K about how he was going to kill all these people. He was one of the big shooters of 2015 or 2016, and he posted all about killing. No, it was two. It was that guy.
Was that guy right? Like a really large...
That was one of them. Okay. There's been two shooters that came from R9K.
Son of a producer or something.
Yeah, there were two shooters that were big R9K guys. And that's where I was like, what the fuck is... Because there was all these Reddit posts about it. And there was a Reddit post like, I'm out of the loop. What is R9K? Yeah. Because it became a big story when the second guy was a shooter from it. So I was like, I gotta go back to 4chan and find out what's happening. And then I started looking around 4chan again. And since then, I check back every month or two.
That's
to just
crazy.
look at rant. When I'm really bored, I'll go there and look. But otherwise, it's...
Okay, so it's called R9001, but the actual, it's / R9K.
Yeah.
So that's why that's why it's called.
Well, they always call it R9K.
Just like random is called B.
R9001. Yeah, which is random.
Yeah.
Why is B random? Because it's random.
Because it's random. If they made it R, would it be random? I hope they actually rolled a die. So, our predictions are basically a shooting... we were fucking talking about predictions. Okay.
It's terrible.
So, a shooting in Columbus. A major site goes down. Could be Reddit. Could be Instagram. Could be Snapchat. Could be Twitter. Not going to be Facebook.
Yes.
One more prediction.
If it is Reddit, I said if it is Reddit, it's because people mount a major DDoS and bring it down for a long time.
I agree. Because it's so hard that's the only way is if I go on Reddit and I can't do anything, that's what's going to get me to go somewhere else.
Yeah, that's the only thing I
I'm
can think of.
Well, fuck, I don't have this. Or if a really sweet app comes out on my phone, because that's 90% of my browser.
Really? I still use an actual computer or a tablet. Basically.
No, you're right. I do use a computer a lot. Especially since I got the Chromebook, I do browse.
If I'm reading a big article, I don't want my phone.
You read articles on 4chan? I like the pictures.
No, on Reddit. Or on Reddit.
There's an article.
I like the pictures.
I didn't know that.
I like the
This is
pictures.
just people renting on 4chan.
No, I'm talking about Reddit as well.
I read comments and I read
comments.
That's lovely.
Like
Kara hated that. I would
stuff.
Click a picture that's funny. I want to read all the comments. I would go deep in the comments.
Well,
only if I'm
that's
really
the best
interested.
part.
Yeah, that's what I love.
Sometimes you see some interesting stuff.
Reddit comments, I learned a lot from those.
Yeah.
And you go in those deep dives where you click a Reddit comment, it has some kind of link, and that leads you to some kind of YouTube video. That YouTube video leads you to if you like this YouTube video, watch this one. You're like, shit, I went real deep with that one Reddit comment.
Sometimes I think Reddit is like bathroom reader, but times 10.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
exactly what it is. All right, what's our one last prediction for 2017?
Chloe, did you give a prediction? What's your prediction?
I haven't.
All right, guys, we've avoided it this whole time.
Wait, Skynet?
Yes, the robot's gonna control us, and we all gonna die.
We've avoided it the whole time, guys. Will he get assassinated?
You mean Honey Boo Boo?
Yes.
That's a cheat.
You mean Honey Boo Boo's stepfather?
Guys. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about...
Mike Pence?
Yes!
I don't think people really like him. I don't think people like him.
But what about...
Wow.
Guys.
Wait. Did we
what
miss...
if LeBron James leaves Cleveland again?
Oh my
he gets
god.
assassinated.
Oh my god.
Which reminds me, did we miss anything from the year 2016? Any major
I don't
event?
think so.
No.
Did anything else happen?
Yeah.
think somebody got elected or something.
Yeah, I can't remember that.
It's probably not important.
Yeah.
Probably nothing.
Alright.
Let's end it.
One, two, three. Dildos! We don't actually need to do it because we're in the same room, so we're just doing that for tradition reasons.
What happened?
But it's Discourse of Human Events.
Are we recording?
Episode 40, yeah.
Oh.
What do you think we're
I thought
doing?
we would see the...
It says recording right there. Recording.
Don't you see the thing, though?
No.
I
That's on
am
Audacity, it does that.
Oh, that's the
Closer
one
to
I
you.
use.
Yeah, you used
Okay,
Audacity.
you go with that. Do it.
This has like the old school radio station blinker.
You're going to have to edit this one heavily.
Zach from the editing room. No shit.